Hello, this is Chaplain73 here on my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me today. I am joined today by travelling artist Sarah Marshall. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
And I'm just going to fire away with some questions as the usual format. So, Sarah, tell me a bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and where you're based.
Hello, I am Sarah Marshall, and I'm not really based anywhere as I'm a traveller. I've been traveling the UK for about 2 years now, doing graffiti, murals, commission paintings, whatever people want, really. My primary form of travel is my huge psychedelic mermaid van.
I saw it at Weston-super-Mare. It's a great van.
She is very striking, isn't she? Yeah, and that's about it. I'm Sarah Marshall.
Mm-hmm. So what is it you actually do? Is it just painting or?
Well, I'll do anything really. Anything from a detailed oil painting to, primary, I like to use light primarily to shine through the back of canvases to make kind of ghostly figures that reflect the laws of thermodynamics, which is my main project.
Fabulous. How long have you been creating? And if you had to choose a piece for somebody to see as an example of your work, which piece would you choose? Which piece are you most proud of that you've created?
I have been creating all my life, as you probably know. It is a compulsion, and we are all made entirely out of creative energy. If you do not create, you will destroy as a human being, and that's, I think, what's going on with the planet. I take a lot of inspiration from Frida Kahlo, as I not broke my back, but I've had some serious damage to my back when I was in my early teens, and I spent a lot of time in and out of wheelchairs and in bed. So instead of going completely bonkers, which I did a little bit, I chose to start a creative practice. So I started drawing and then painting, and the hours and hours and hours of boredom have just turned into what I do.
Mm-hmm. And the piece you're most proud of?
Probably Luna and Pelagus, which is a depiction of some awful pain from my past. And she depicts the moon and he's the sea, and together they make up gravity. So she's like a ghostly Day of the Dead woman, and he's a dragon, a big slimy lizard.
So is that on a canvas or on a wall, or?
It's a A1 canvas, deep edge canvas with inbuilt lights, and the lights radiate through the face of both of the characters, and then there is a swirl of galaxies and other things in mica pigments and other stones attached to the background.
And where can we find that if we want to go and have a look at it?
Faces Cannabis Education Centre at the moment,
right?
And it can be viewed on arrangement. So if anybody would like a private view, and they can get in touch with my page, which is Marshall's Markings, and I will meet them at the venue and give them a private view, and of not just that piece, but the whole Indigo Child exhibit, which is the laws of thermodynamics in goddesses and spirit animals.
Fabulous. I did pop into Faces while I was in Weston. It's a great place.
Yeah, the one downstairs is also mine. The levitating figure in the bubble.
Oh wow!
With the faces behind. Yeah, that was also me.
Fab. Can you tell me a bit about your creative process? And I just wanted to pick up on you mentioned to me when I got in touch with you about your dot work and the benefits of it, and I just thought I'd give you an opportunity to sort of like say something about that.
Well, started off as a way to detail these larger paintings. I was using markers to do dots to build up layers of pointillist detail. And then over time, I realized that it was like some form of meditation, and it was really soothing and calming for myself. So I started working on mandalas and incorporating them into my meditative practice, because I'm a practicing Buddhist. So I do have a spiritual practice as well as a creative practice. So I worked that into my my spiritual practice even. And I found that it's it's a really good way to hyper focus if you struggle with attention span deficit problems, or if you struggle with anything really. It's a good way to zone yourself out. So I've been working on a number of classes and techniques that people could utilize in their everyday lives to not only, you know, improve a creative practice or further a creative practice, but also to soothe themselves, to self-soothe. So they'll be available shortly when I've finished penning them on it, again, on Marshall's Markings on our website. And there'll be a free resource. I'm not going to charge anybody for any of this, because nobody should be charged for peace. You know, peace should be free.
Yeah. And I like the way that in recent times, like colouring in and stuff like that have become more popular as that sort of like relaxation thing, because people have recognised the therapeutic benefits to colouring in and rendering images.
Well, anything that you see in front of you created from your own hand is going to be therapeutic, isn't it? Because there's a sense of pride in it. Even if you're just colouring something in, you don't have to be creating something from scratch to be proud of something. And that's what people need to know, and we need to drive home, is without the arts, we have no link to our ancestors. We have no link to our culture. We have no link to who we actually are. We are viable, and we need the support of the British public now more than ever to really drive home the fact that this is therapy, this is culture, this is ancestry, this is everything that you need to survive mentally, and to survive these lockdowns and these imposed measures from our, in my opinion, fascist government.
Yeah, I mean, I find art very therapeutic. I think I would go completely mad without art. If I wasn't able to create, I think I would, you know, probably not be here now.
I always say, if I cannot create, I will destroy.
And
that seems to be a theme for me, is if I am cut off from my creative practices and spiritual practices, I can become very destructive, because we each have both things in us, or everyone has both things in them, you know, and that destructive element, I think, is quietened by art.
Yeah, definitely. I know that's from a personal point of view, that's how it is with me. I find that if I don't create for a few days, I start getting worked up and angry about things. and that's how it manifests itself in me. But you know, and then I go and do something creative and I feel a lot better about myself. So
yeah and that's the only advice I'd ever give anyone who's struggling with anything, is go and get a pen or a piece of paper or a pencil and scribble on it if you have to, you know, because anything's better than nothing.
Brilliant. Another couple of questions. What are your plans for your creative output in the future?
Well, I don't know, because I don't really make plans. I tend to live completely in the moment, as most Buddhists do. So I'm like a leaf on the wind, really. If somebody wants a commission, I drive over and I do the commission. I don't really have a plan. You know?
That's great. That's a great answer. You know, it's nice to know that there are people out there without.
You know, I've spent most of my life planning this, planning that, you know, planning what they're going to do and all the rest of it. And now I just, I'm like a leaf on the wind. I just float about.
Probably helps in the current situation that we find ourselves in, because obviously, you know, if you were planning something last year for this year, it probably went out the window.
Well, yeah, everything went out the window. We were actually locked in a quarry by the police for 3 months in the first half of the lockdown. So yeah, we've seen the nastier side of the lockdown, unfortunately, being no fixed abode and travelling. Obviously, we're not allowed, are we, because of the lockdown? But then everybody, because of the lockdown, wants us to go somewhere else, because we're not from there, because we're not from anywhere. So it's left us in a situation where no matter what we do and no matter where we go, we seem to be getting problems. Back in my mum's, trapped.
What advice do you wish you were given when you first started out your career as such as an artist when you started doing sort of like commissions and
Value your stuff. Value your stuff when no one else will, and show everything, because the things that you don't like, other people will.
yeah,
And it's something that I still struggle with. I say, oh, I throw it away. I don't like it. And they're always the ones that sell. So, so if I could give advice to someone who's starting out, is art subjective. Your
yeah,
opinion doesn't matter as the artist at all. You need to just show everything, even the bits you don't like. And then through that, you'll build a confidence in your own practice, because people will buy the bits you don't like. And then you get to keep the bits you do.
everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I found that I recently did, obviously in October, there's a lot of art challenge things going on. And I set myself one called Quote-tober, where I did a quote every day that somebody suggested.
I've seen them. They're brilliant. They're brilliant.
Well, one of them, my wife always shares my artwork. She shares it on her social media, and I love her for that. But this one quote, she went, "I'm not sharing that. I don't like it." And I was like, okay. And I had 2 people want to buy that one. so it's just like, yeah.
I put a scribble of a dog up and had a company say, "Oh, will you? Can we buy this? And we're going to use it for this and that." And I was like, "Do you want me to do you a better one?" And they were like, "No." So it's,
yeah, it is sometimes a pleasant surprise that the things that you think haven't worked, somebody else thinks have. And,
yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining me today and answering those questions.
Very welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's been great talking to you and hearing from another creative. I love talking to other creative people. So, if you've liked what you've seen today, please hit subscribe below and join me for another interview on another day. Thank you very much.